What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to the MFL Ramble this week. This week, we've got 5 people on here, and it hasn't broken the stream just yet. Let's just make sure we are live. Looks like we're live. Beautiful. This week in the chat so far, we've got Sid. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, Sid. How are you? Watched your game yesterday. Was it yesterday's game? I lose track of time. No, I didn't watch the game. Yeah. It's a good game, and the game before as well, where he picked off a draw against Ronan. That was decent as well. I think that was the day before. Literally, I'm just like losing track of time in my head. Ricky, notepad at the ready for this one. Well, it won't be from me, but we've got 3 geniuses on here, and Hoodwink and me. But putting you down in my boat. We've got Hoodwink in here, 5-some. Yes, is no better way. Cameron M7457 rolls off the tongue. Crazy faces. Andy, hello, sir. How are you? Ron John, hello. Morning, fellas. Andrew Q. And Sid again. It is flying by, actually, the season. I don't know, for some reason, I thought we had another week after this one, but we basically got half a week and then the season's done after this one. Crazy. But we'll talk about our teams. The idea for today was that we get 5 people on. That was only really arranged this morning, so I won't talk about it like we planned miles ahead. But we've gone 5 people on. A couple of the people have to leave later on. Then we'll get the screen up and we'll talk about our teams and stuff like that. But we're going to be talking about rapid play. We're going to be talking about the engine staying the same. Then we're going to be talking about tactics, and we're going to be talking about our team update right at the end. If anyone has any questions in the chat, feel free to drop them in. But let's fire off. Before we go any further, let's introduce. We've got the blue-eyed goddess from Scotland. Everyone found it quite hilarious calling him a goddess, but to me, he'll be a goddess. He's everything. It's Hoodwink. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Nice. We've got the other Scottish guy, Braveheart himself, tactics genius, and that is one of the nicest guys on. In fact, I mean, these guys are all the nicest guys. I'm so happy to be surrounded by them. And that is Kev Hurd. Kev's starting a new job very soon, so this may be one of the last times we catch him in an early show for a while. When does the new job start, Kevin? How are you?
Yeah, so fly down to England on Sunday, and then a nice intense onboarding week throughout the whole of next week. So
whereabouts is it in England?
Should be a busy one. So I fly to Gatwick. It's Berkshire I go to. So what's that, an hour and a half from Gatwick, something like that.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, much and such same as what I was doing before. So yeah, it should be a nice, easy transition, hopefully.
Airport beers with Hatton again, or?
Possibly, yeah. Hopefully you this time as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe next time, because I'll be down there every 3 months.
I finally got up to the hospital yesterday, so done all the tests now. So hopefully they can prescribe some steroids, which will give me a bit of pep in my step for the next couple of months. But
that'd be good, mate.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe, never know. But
so doing well apart from that. Glad that Liverpool have 2 wins in a row and 2 clean sheets.
Come on, Kev.
Yeah, the win at the weekend was nice, but I felt like Emery played into, didn't sort of, I don't know, he made it easy for us in a way.
Yeah,
but last night was just glorious.
They let us play our game. It was magnificent. Yeah. That's what we needed. We needed a game like that.
But last night was glorious, wasn't it? It was just we were just like prime Liverpool again, European nights. It's beautiful to watch. But even like Verts and people like that, just, Szoboszlai is having such a good season. It's just, it was great last night. It should have been. I mean, if it wasn't for Courtois, we probably could have, it would have been a smashing, wouldn't it? But
I was about to say, I would say Courtois was probably man of the match. So if it wasn't for him, it would have been more than 1-0. So yeah, brilliant to see.
Exactly.
And a fellow Liverpool fan here as well.
Exactly. Sandwiched in between the 3 of us. We have 2 guests this week. We have one that's returning and a brand new one, and that is Rory. How are you, sir?
Good. Thank you very much for having me on, lads. Looking forward to getting into it here today.
Nice.
But yeah, great win for Liverpool there yesterday. Jeez, I haven't seen them play that well this season, I swear.
Yeah, it was one of their best performances. One of their best performances in, I don't know, maybe since like February or something like that, because the end of last season we weren't great, and this season we've not been great. But yeah, hopefully that's the sort of turns the tide and stuff like that. But
yeah, like Madrid didn't really have a sniff. It kind of reminded me of my Phoenix Park Rangers team in the league this year, just no goal threats coming in. Just keep them all away,
Are you in the league with someone else in there?
I'm in with Hoodwink, yeah. Hoodwink's Edinburgh team. And Kev actually in Stone as well.
That's the 4-2-4, isn't it? Phoenix.
No,
Yeah, 4-2-4 there. Yeah.
I don't
I
think
think
I'm in
you're
with
right.
any of you this season, am I?
No,
I don't think so.
just the
no.
cups. Me and you in the cups.
I'm in with Bruce, which I take great satisfaction in. After him baiting me last week, I came back and turned the tide. And as you'll see later on, the tables have turned in that league now. But anyway, and we're joined, of course, by returning guests, Big Mr. K. How are you, sir?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Thanks for having us on again.
What's that shirt you're wearing?
It's FC Pristina.
Nice.
Yeah, Kosovan Premier League team, the most successful one. It's one of them surprise shirt things. I had a subscription a while ago as a gift, and ended up with this one. It's quite a nice one. I don't know if you can quite really see on the camera, but it's got like a snowflake sort of pattern all over it and stuff.
Yeah, no, can't quite see that. But I don't know, for some reason it just looked like an MFL shirt that someone had made. I don't know.
I did put it on for that reason, thinking it looks a bit out there, rather than just sticking on a lead shirt for the sake of it. And I can't really wear a lead shirt at the moment, not with our current form. So yeah,
Blue and
talking
white.
about Champions League and Liverpool. That sounds better.
Yeah, blue and white. You know,
Yeah.
repping the Scottish lads. Yeah.
That's a Chat GPT logo if ever I've seen it.
I thought so. I have no idea what it is, but yeah, I think I've made better ones myself for my own MFL clubs. But there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Sid. Yeah, sorry. He's a big Madrid fan. So let's move on from the real football chat anyway.
Yeah, sorry, Sid.
But thanks for joining us anyway, everybody. And let's talk about rabid play. Like, I think, like, my opinion is, I think that the idea was brilliant. I think the matches were brilliant. You know, I think that all of that was, and it gives them an opportunity for doing sort of different things down the line where, you know, perhaps it's like tackles that boost you, or rather than sort of yellow cards and red cards, you know, and I think the whole idea was fun. But I think it had two minor flaws. One, like some of the MFL you needed to enter, like a lot of people don't. I never used to keep any MFL back. And like, luckily this time I had a little bit to enter, but it ran out quite quickly. Luckily they paid back my winnings from the night before, so it was, you know, pretty profitable. And then I made the absolute schoolboy error of unregistering for one, like, and then completely forgot that they just don't return the MFL. Like, because the night before some got cancelled and they returned the MFL, and I said, oh, if I cancel it, then I'll return the MFL, and it didn't. But yeah, I'm an absolute buffoon. But
And loads of success as well.
yeah, and I think that the cap was a bit off. Like, it wasn't so much that it was off, but like, especially at this stage of the season, even if you'd built like a team of all 75s at the start of the season, you might have had one guy that's +4, you know, and therefore you had to play the 80 cap. And if you play the 80 cap with that team, like with some of the guys that are maybe still 74, 73, you're going to get battered. And I think that was a bit funky. So I think maybe an overall cap for the actual team on the pitch probably would have been better. But I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Let's start with Big Mr. K.
I was in the same boat as you just described there. All of my teams, apart from one Flint side, could actually enter a competition just with the squad I had. But I had to get rid of it. I had to release a player from his contract to enter in it, because otherwise I had to play, like, I don't know, in the 85+1 with my Stone team, because some people have gone up like +5, +4, plus whatever. So it's a bit of a stickler for me. I just hated the fact every time any of my players went rabid, it was always my bloody right back. And then it was against their strikers. It happened all the time. And I got sick of seeing that one guy. He got to a point where I won't play him anymore because I'm sick of seeing his name. He's crap. But anyway, yeah, I didn't get any success whatsoever with it and stuff. And I tried making all my teams like super aggressive. It didn't make any difference.
Yeah, I got lucky. One of my teams, Funky Monkey, like, was quite close to the cap anyway. And it didn't have anybody over 85, but it had loads of 84s. I brought in a legendary striker and we absolutely smashed. I made like 40k in the first day.
Oh, nice.
Then a little bit like not as good the second day, but you know, all the other teams could only enter free rolls. You know, it just wasn't worth doing it, and they didn't do particularly well because they had like one guy that got progression and carried me out of the limit. But yeah,
I like the idea though. I like the idea. It's just if they could make it like you were saying before, that you can enter a team but you just can't field players like they do in the preseason tournaments you guys have run, or the one the Wendirt done. And if you didn't meet the criteria, it invalidated the game, the match, and you just got to buy. Could have done that, but I like the idea and the direction they're going in. I do like the fact they keep doing these events.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I love the fact that there was the guys going like the ghoulish thing when they score and stuff like that. Everything just sort of worked within the game, and it definitely was fun, a lot of fun that first night. Rory, what do you think on it?
Yeah, I got the kit and I got the pitch and I got all the kind of rewards I was looking for. I was lucky enough my team also fell just about into that 84 cap. But again, no MFL to do the expensive ones. I definitely thought that they should have let people set up a starting 11 and that be the cap rather than the whole squad. Because even at the beginning, they had the 81 to 85 caps. And luckily enough, they expanded them. But like I had one player 79 rated and everyone else in that cap, and they weren't going to let us play. So they hear kind of us talking about it. They know how to fix it. So they're taking steps in the right direction. And I think these events are great,
Definitely.
Really helps engagement. Like Goal Rush is a lot of fun. I thought that one was a lot of fun.
Oh, Goal Rush.
Little rewards.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like little rewards like the pitches and the kits and all that kind of stuff. It really keeps people engaged, I think. Everyone's looking to win them. It's it's a nice feeling winning them, even though the events are good fun as well. So I did enjoy it. I played yourself in the semi-final of one of them. The semi-final. I lost the final, sadly, but I didn't set my team at all differently than I usually would have it. I just went in thinking I'm going to leave my tactics set up and see how that gets me. And it got me the rewards that I was looking for anyway. So
yeah, I didn't change much either, but yeah. Kev, what do you think on it?
Yeah, I loved it. Great format, great idea. I think it's Bastiste that's in the chat just now, just saying why they set it. And yeah, I totally understand why they set it. It just would have been better if there was different overall settings. Like, the D-Gens, for example, couldn't enter the 85s because we had 4 86s. So I couldn't deregister 3 86s because I still had the one. So if there was an 86 overall or an 87 overall, but then they would have had many, many tournaments. So you were never going to keep everyone happy. But yeah, I loved the format. I thought it was a really great idea.
I think that's the case, isn't it? Yes, we're being critical about the cap and stuff like that, but they're probably minor criticisms. Like the overall execution of it was absolutely brilliant. The guys at MFL did excellent. Doing that. I'd love to see another one at Christmas. But Hoodwink, what did you think?
It was a bit of an anticlimax for me because I didn't have any MFL, so I was just in the free rolls, and they took so long to fill up that by the time they'd filled up, I forgot there was even games on. I never done very well. I think I maybe won one game. I just maybe if I had enough MFL, and again my player ratings, I think they were just meant I was up against overpowered teams compared to mine. So I didn't really enjoy it. I like the format, and I love that. I love that they're trying different things, and because it was Halloween, that was quite a fun one to try. I think.
Yeah,
and it means I think if it was pre-season, it would have been easier because you could actually make a team for it rather than your mid-season guys that you can't. You're not going to waste transfers, kind of switching them a bit. So,
well, I did. It was painful, and then I wanted to put players in. I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake! Now I can't do that." And it was a bit painful, wasn't it? But I'd love to see a Christmas one, and they did the calendar last year, didn't they? So I'm sure they've been working on stuff for Christmas. But it was a lot of fun. Some of the stuff last year, and I'm sure they're. With the bigger team and stuff, they'll be putting more stuff out this year. But a couple more people in the chat. Amreezy's in there. Hello, Amreezy. Got up early with the kids. Nice. We did it half an hour later, just in the chance that you might be able to make it. It was nothing to do with me being late getting up. But
my best day. It was fun being on with him last week on the Amreezy's MFL show. It's good fun.
Yeah, it's always a good chat with Amreezy, isn't it? If you're not listening, if you're not watching or not tuned into his channel, go on there because it's good. He's got SoRare content, he's got MFL content, but really fun watch. I guess the other big news this week, or I guess was it last Friday, was that the engine is staying the same for next season. From what I've seen, I haven't been completely engaged in everything. There seems to be a lot of positivity about that. So, you can start planning now for next season. I guess, in my opinion, and I think pretty much what Jimbo said on this week's When Dirk, which I was listening to yesterday, was we need to know a little bit more, because small patches to fix things and change things can have big impacts on the game. And are they saying that this version will hold for the whole of next season, or are they saying it's this engine in principle, but there may be some patches? And I guess with a little bit more details, but in principle, I'm very happy about it. My fortunes this season have been okay with some teams, which we'll talk about a bit about later on. But for me, this engine is probably the most balanced engine we've had. I think I said it last week that any formation can do well against other formations. You just have to look in the formation check or formation meta on is it Bastise's site, the
MFL coach.
MFL coach, yeah. You can just see that so many of them are if you look into them, they're fairly balanced from each, and then it comes down to sort of the team instructions and tactics you set up rather than just this formation is OP this season. And I think for me, that is for the best of the game, regardless of whether some of my teams aren't doing quite as well this season. Although they seem to have improved in the last couple of days. But Rory, what do you think on it, mate?
Yeah, well, for me personally, it couldn't really be a better engine to be staying. Like, I'm having a lot of success with all my teams, but the main thing I've found is I'm having a lot of success with different tactical setups. So like between my teams, I think I have 13 teams, and I think I'm running about 8 formations, and all of them are set up differently with different depths, different balance, controlled, direct, different setups, different instructions, and they all seem to be working reasonably well. So I think it's a perfect base for them to start building on, because I know a couple seasons ago, last season, for example, all my teams played direct. I couldn't play any other way. I couldn't find success with any other way. I had to play direct. This season, I feel like anyone can play anything. And if you have the right players and the right ideas about it and the right formation setup, you can make it work, which is what the game should be. It shouldn't be, you need the fast guy to do the long ball. It shouldn't be you need the long shot to swerve in like previous engines. So I am a fan of the engine staying. Like I was watching the Yorkshire Tea last night. I'm about halfway through it, so I haven't finished the whole engine ramble chat yet. But what Bruce was saying, and I was talking to Kev about it earlier, the goals, and it is kind of repetitive. And you're seeing the same things a lot, but I haven't got sick of that yet.
You mean this engine? Because for me, this engine,
yes.
You still get through ball goals, you still get long shot goals, but probably more importantly, and what we haven't had before is those sort of scrappy goals where there's crosses in, like little crosses across the 6-yard box, and they've come in this season, and that's probably more realistic than we've ever had before. I think back to that first engine when all players did, they ran down to the wing, tried to cross, didn't get the cross, corner comes in, nothing happened. Like you either scored, you didn't score, and stuff like that. And it felt like the whole game was like that. Don't get me wrong, it was still fun at the time. I loved it, and I ended up buying more teams off the back of it. But this engine has evolved now, where we have like the through ball goals. Yes, they were OP last season, but now we have sort of a variety of goals. And I think that, yes, sometimes maybe there's slightly too many of those goals where it's a little cross in, like, a winger runs down, crosses across the 6-yard box. But if you watch matches, that's how a lot of goals are scored, So, it's that balance. And for me, at the start of the season, I wasn't getting many long shots in. I still haven't got that many, but you have to turn on long shots for that, which is probably the way it should be as well. It's like, if you haven't got your players turned on to take long shots, they're not going to take long shots. And that makes sense, I guess. But
I think this engine is, like you were saying, way more realistic. Like you had your centre back lobbing a couple of seasons ago, lobbing like a 30-yard through ball on the half turn over the defense, and the keeper wouldn't come out to collect it, and it would just be like a clear one-on-one with the defense not following. And maybe it was 2 seasons ago with the long shot goals that would just curve in bottom corner, and you might see 2 or 3 of them a game. But you don't see that anymore. You're seeing, like you said, more realistic goals, and I think that's the right step. That's where we need to start building from.
Yeah,
so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how everything seems balanced. So yeah, I'm in favor of them trying out the keeping the engine and seeing how it goes.
What do you think, Hoodwink?
I think after watching Yorkshire Tea and XP, I agree with Bruce. I'm not a big fan of it just now, and there's a lot of it, like you said, about the long shots. You just didn't get long. I scored the long shot goal. I go through it beside the box yesterday, and I was amazed it went in. I couldn't believe it because they're just almost non-existent. the wee pass across the box for the tap in just infuriated me. I feel like when we were doing friendlies, Kev, and I was like, Kev, why is this happening every single game? I was just getting so angry with it, and it's no changed kind of during the season. Goalies are just. I sent to Mr. K. I sent that video earlier. My goalie who's on controlled passing, and my team's on controlled passing. He gets the ball. I've got 4 defenders like on the edge of my box. Just I want to play controlled. He punts it up. They get the ball straight away. Down the pitch, take a shot. My goalie saves it, which is a miracle with my goalies. And then what does my goalie do? He punts it out for a throw-in for no reason whatsoever. 4 defenders stand there, and I was just watching it like, and I think I put it in the Discord. It was against Dancing Boy in the Discord. And I says, "What's my goalie doing, man?" Like it just made me so annoyed. And then I moan like, sorry, this is just me ranting now, but I moan most days.
Rant away, mate. Rant away.
Conceding my first shot on target, and and I'm like, it mustn't. Maybe I'm just like exaggerating a wee bit. So I thought I'll fact check it, and I checked earlier with Edinburgh in 13 games, 7 goals have been for the first shot on target, 53% of that, which is quite high, I think. For Livingston, who I've noticed it with a lot more, and they've got a really good goalie for the division. 15 games, 11 goals I've conceded the first shot on target. 73% of my games, the first shot on target against me goes in. And I just, like, if the engine's the same next season, then, like, how do I enjoy it a bit more than I am just now? Because my teams are doing well. Like, I'm in top 3 with, I'm in, like, a promotion push for 3 of my teams. Edinburgh, they're quite low, but they're not doing bad. It's just not been great for them.
I guess to answer that is that you probably need to give them a bit more of a pep talk and fire them up when they're going out. You know, like Braveheart.
I'm going to drop my goalie. Tran's coming in tonight. Like my goalie's getting dropped because like what more can I do for my goalie to just pass the ball to a defender and start my build up? Like what? There's no other option that I can use in my tactics than.
See, I never do that with the keeper, just because in my experience, like the keeper, like I like to play out from the back, but I do not want the keeper always doing it. So I have it on balance, so he's not always forced into making like a pass out from the back, because so often like you find that they go wrong and he gives the ball away, but not so
long balls
yeah.
now. I know the short one. Like I do hate, but that's the risk that I want to take is when I pass it to my left back, for example. And I get the dodgy pass across the box. Their goalie runs in, and then, like in real life, that happens all the time when you watch like as a Man United fan, having Anana and Harry Maguire try to play it for the back. I'm used to that, but like that's how I want my guys to play. So I want it to build up, and I want to score beautiful goals and that kind of thing. So that's the risk. What I didn't want is like when I've chose that from my defenders and my goalie to just have a punt up and then just to lose the ball, just to lose possession when I'm trying to play a possession game, and it's just there's like. I don't know. There's that, and then the goals. Just like I love long shots, man. Like when I scored my long shot, my goal for outside the box yesterday, I want to screen record that and just like stick it everywhere because it's just never happens. And maybe that is because at the start of the season they weren't going in and long shots were just going wayward. And I've changed it to less long shots. But then some of them are strikers as well that are like. They're one-on-ones and like missing open goals and stuff like that. And again, that happens in real life. But when you got like 10, 11 shots on target and then you concede your first goal, your first shot on target, it winds me up a bit. Like, and I just get so annoyed. I watch every game and like, and as I say, I've been winning games. But even if I'm like 3-0 up and they score with their first shot on target, I'm just like I don't know what I can change like in terms of like my tactics that's going to stop that from happening. Like they're good goalies. They're for every league, I've got a goalie that's high enough rated and they're tall. I didn't sign dwarf goalies like short kings. They're good goalies and like just every single shot, no matter how. Like my 0-0 yesterday, like that was in my goalie conceded, but my 0-0 yesterday against like a team that I'm like so far above in the ratings and like just dominated them, and it was a 0-0, and I was like, my strikers just every 1-on-1, I was like, my strikers not going to score. But then I thought they're going to have one shot and just they're going to score. Luckily they didn't. But like overall, there's a lot of good things. But my problem with it no changing next season is the same. Like especially the goalies. Like, the goalies just annoy me so much. The amount of goalie errors that I see, but it's straight at them and it just bounces into the net. Like, I know that happens in real life again, but no as often as I see just now.
I don't know what it is, but I haven't seen any of those things at all. I mean, yes, occasionally keepers like parry it out into the opposition and then knock it in the net, but again, that happens in real life, so can't get upset about it. It doesn't happen that often. You know, occasionally it hits the goalkeeper and spoons off into the net, but again, that happens in real life and it doesn't happen all the time. But I guess to answer the question we had earlier about whether the engine will change, you've got Yaks in the chat and he says we don't plan to do any changes. So that's good to know. But I guess from Hoodwink's point of view, he needs to find a way to stop that. But of course, it could be variants as well. Like, you know, we just don't know. Maybe that's like all of the, you know, the one shot and goals. Like you've had all of them now for the season. We just don't know. But praying for you now because I've never seen you that angry. I've never seen you that angry.
I'm not angry, by the way. Like, I love. Obviously, I love the game and I love everything about it, and I watch every match and I enjoy it. But they're the things that just piss me off sometimes. Eh? And like, it's been for the start of the season because maybe on stream or maybe it was after the stream, and I said to Kev about a couple of things. I was like, "How's this happening?" And that was like pre-testing. That was before the season even started. So that was in like making the engine what it is, and I was already noticing things that frustrated me. And for it to be through this whole season and then the whole of next season, just I don't know. I'll see how the end of the season goes, but I'll just need to buy goalies that can save, I suppose. But
Yeah.
Do you ever captain your goalkeeper?
What was that, sorry?
Do you ever captain your goalkeeper?
No.
I'd try that.
Nah, I never captain a goalkeeper. Honestly,
I captain my goalkeeper on pretty much every team. And my two bronze teams right now, both goalkeepers are top rated in the league as an 81 on one of them. Because I feel like the captain gives them that extra boost to not concede these goals all the time. I don't know. It's just something I found. It's the biggest impact position. So you should maybe give it a try and see if it helps you out.
I just feel like goalkeeper's chat is another. It could be a long one, but I just feel like if you captain your goalkeeper, yes, you may get the benefit. Yes, it may be like lead to like fewer goals, but you're just leaving like points on the table across the rest of your team, whether that's physical and defense, which means they don't like lose their fitness as much or win more duels, or whether that's pace up front, which means you score more goals. You know, I just think that, you know, but let's not going to get the keeper chat anyway. It could be here a while. Yeah, we've got a couple of bit. Andrew Q says he's seeing just as many through balls leading to 1-on-1s with the keeper. I'm seeing less through balls, but I guess it depends on how you play it. I'm playing less direct this season, but the conversion rate is lower. I have seen that as well on games that I've watched. That like it's not like a guaranteed goal now when you play us through, which I guess is a good thing as well because you know keepers save things. So again, it does feel more realistic this season. But got Amrezy saying love long shots, but hating my wing back does long shooting with 20 long shots with 20 shooting, who has less long shots instruction. Again, like something I never really see. Like I think I put less shooting on maybe one or two players I get in a thing, and like I don't really, you know, never really have that problem. I don't know what it is, but Yaks feels bad now. Don't feel bad. Hoodwink will get over it. I think it's just fair rinse, and we'll help him anyway. We've got some tactical geniuses on the show today, and Rory's already given him a bit of advice, captain the goalkeeper. Although I'm not down with that, but you know,
I'm gonna try that.
It could work. Who knows? But yeah. But Big Mr. K, I think I heard you speak about it yesterday. But what are your thoughts on the engine?
Yeah, on our podcast and the episode going on for longer than 2 hours, which I know we'd like to whitter on for a while. Yeah, the match engine was a big topic. I like this engine. I do. I don't like some of the goalkeeping. I don't like some of the errors we've seen in goalkeeping. I know it's already been like noticed by the devs and they've been trying to tweak bits and pieces, and I'm seeing less of it now. I was trying to find an example because I was testing against Jimbo pre-season when he was on our pod, and I had one where I had a corner. I had like 4 of my guys all, I don't know what they were doing, circle jerking in the corner, ignoring the rest of the team for some reason. And like literally just 10 yards away from the corner taker, just all having a huddle. And then their guy had a shot, hit the goalkeeper, and it was going the far corner. He was in the middle of the net, and it deflected off at a 45-degree angle, went in the other corner. And I looked in and I thought, it just doesn't look right. It can just not be saved, hit the goalkeeper, deflected it in. But I've seen a lot of that, all these weird parries into opposition players. I dropped my Silver League goalkeeper for about 5 games when he did it twice in one game and lost me a match because I'm just like, you're not playing anymore. But no, I'm liking this engine. I said on the pod, I've probably used about 50% of the formations now that are available to us this year just to test and try. And you're right, you go on MFL Coach and previous engines, it was a bit of a Bible to go to playing a 4-2-3-1. What's statistically the most effective? If you look now, they're all hovering around mid-30s, almost 40%. There's not massive outliers anymore, and I like that. I like the variety. I just don't want to get to a point where everyone's using the same tactic or you're coming up against the same tactics, the same formation every week. I'm finding this season I'm facing a lot of different formations as well, which I like. On the long shot thing and the instructions we give our teams, I remember going down this rabbit hole myself many times. Like, I've told you not to do that. Why are you doing it? But at the same time, the instructions, both individual and team, it's like more often than not, do this. They still have that that ability to choose whatever the chuff they want to do, and they will do. So you're right about taking a long shot. Yeah, they'll do that. But even if you tell everyone no long shots and you don't do, they'll do it occasionally. You can't completely eradicate it. It's just you're trying to encourage them to make better decisions based on what you want them to do. For the one shot you concede on target, Hoodwink, yeah. And the only question I would dive into further, because I could see where that would set you off, because it would me as well. I've played FM for long enough to know, I know what's happening here. I'm playing bottom of the table. They haven't won a game yet. They're going to beat me, though, with that one shot they get. It's that what XG, how high actually the XG of that chance? Like, how good is the opportunity of their one shot have? Because if they get one that's like 0.6 XG, that's quite a high XG chance they've created, and you've just not been able to break them down. That happens in football. It's annoying as shit when it happens, but it happens. Because I've got a stupidly overpowered Spark team. I think we were talking about in one of the Discords the other day. They're like 72 average rating. They're against a 56 average rating team. I think I stuffed them in the earlier fixture 12-0, and they beat me 3-1. They had 3 shots, ended with 4 shots, 3 on target, 0.6 XG. And I had like going on 2 XG with about 18 shots, and there was loads of blocks and loads of this. It just happens. The goalkeeper just plays shit that game, and every shot they took went in. That was just one of them. Not that deep, because it's Spark, and I've got higher interest, but I've seen it in silvers and your bronzes, where you're like, one of my bronze teams is absolutely tragic. Fingers crossed I can turn it around the second half of the season, but I've watched games, I'm like, I'm absolutely battering this team. Oh, they've just scored 2 goals against me with the 3 shots they've had. You can do all the tactics in the world. It just depends on the players. Yeah. I like this engine more.
Reminded me of this, but
go on.
I was in hysterics last night when I was walking back from the hospital, and I had your show on when it was towards the end when Root started going on. We've got some questions, and he went on. Got a question here from someone about what's a DAO. I was like, what are you talking about? It's a DAO. Like,
I had no idea what he was talking about either. I'm involved.
But yeah, I thought the explanation was brilliant, but it did tickle me that he literally never heard of that before, because the term comes up all of the time, doesn't it? Like you hear in various circles for various things. But anyway, that had me in hysterics. But yeah, thank you, Big Mr. K. Kev, what are your thoughts on the engine?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because everyone's got such different opinions on it, and there's a lot that's the same.
Just to interrupt, that probably means that it's actually quite a good engine if everybody's like, you know, says some people say like, I hate it when my players shoot and I've got it turned off. Other people say my players don't shoot enough. It's like, well, you know, there's got to be a balance in between. So maybe it is quite a balanced engine.
Well, I love it for that reason alone. And for me, it is a very balanced engine. I love that, you know, as Mr. K said, as Rory said, there's a lot of balance with the formations now. So a lot of it's down to how you set it up, the players that you've got. I just love that. I think that's amazing. But I also loved what Bruce said. Bruce is going to get a lot of love today in this show, I think. But yeah, just what he said was brilliant. You know, it's a very balanced engine, but there's a lot of, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's boring, but there's a lot of repetitive goals. I see a lot of, you know, indirect free kicks, corners, that sweaty pass across goal, which is great because we haven't had a lot of those goals in previous engines. But I'd like a little bit more balance with the type of goal that we're seeing, a little bit more variety in the goals that we're seeing. Mix it up with the other previous engines where we had some good long shots, or direct free kicks were good. They're not good anymore. They used to be very good. So
definitely seeing less long shot goals this engine, but then again, like long shots don't happen in every match in real life, do they? So
no, but I'd like to see a little bit more long shot goals, maybe 5 or 10% more goals. Just little tiny things is what I would change. But generally, it's a very good engine.
Yeah,
I love the balance of it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I guess, like, sort of going around, if there's one thing that we could change about the engine, Rory, what would that one thing be?
One thing we could change, well, it probably would be more variety in goals. I know it's kind of what everyone's saying, but other than that, I think this engine's pretty good. Like, I haven't seen as many goalkeeper issues as people have been talking about. Like, even for my games and the teams I'm playing against, I haven't seen loads of them. But just as Kev was saying, like, it is kind of, you're seeing a lot of the same goals. And Bruce was saying he's starting to see even a lot of the same kind of clips come up that he thinks are leading to goals.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a problem. If people are kind of discussing this now, and it's only halfway through the first season of this engine, there's another half a season and one more to come. That's kind of something that needs to be sorted out if people are already, having a problem with it, getting sick of it. So
What about you?
Yeah.
If there's one thing you could change about the engine,
one thing,
and it can't be conceding a goal off one shot.
buying goalie gloves. I think it probably is goalies for me because, like, I was just checking the game yesterday, and it was actually for me. I beat a team 3-0, and it was 3 set pieces, 3 indirect free kicks into the box, and 2 of the goals, the goalie just it's straight at the goalie, then it just hits him and goes like top corner, and then like I want to be able to play controlled. I want to play possession football. That's like I've played for like 20 seasons or like 15 seasons or something like that. So like I now know how I want my team to play, and I know it's not always going to work, but I want to play possession football. I want to enjoy watching my team. I didn't want my goalie punting the ball I didn't want him punt it out for a throw in. So if they could fix goalie behaviour, I would stop moaning. Probably.
Cool. Big Mr. K, one thing. Only one.
Yeah, that's the difficulty. I want more variety in the top of highlights we see. He tends to be, you see, I've got the ball, I've got an attack. I like the variety, and I see them every so often where I'm attacking. Actually happened in a game yesterday. I was playing Kev because we were chatting about it afterwards. I had an attack. It didn't come to anything, and it was quite a long highlight. The next thing he knew, he was countering me, and he was through on my goal. But that was exciting because I've not seen it. I like variety in what I'm watching throughout the matches because there are some clips you're like, I know what's going to happen here. That's going to happen. And that's going to happen. And it tends to happen 90% of the time. So yeah, a bit more variety.
Yeah, the worst thing is when, like, you've just defended a corner or something like that, and you've got the ball and you break, and your player's like 1-on-1. You can see there's a pass, and he'd literally be something in the net, and then the highlight ends.
Yeah.
At least show me the shot, even if we spooned it over the bar. Yeah, I guess we could watch the games on extended highlights, which I do sometimes when I forget to turn it off. But
the worst one for me is when you've scored and you're celebrating, and then you see them at kick off, and you're like, "Fuck!" It's
yesterday or the day before, actually, but they lost the ball straight away, and I scored again, so I was happy with that one. But,
really?
Yeah,
That's me.
Yeah, I've never seen that one before. But Kev, one thing.
Just exact same as what you guys have said. Unpredictability, variety. I'd like to know when I don't know I'm going to concede or score. I'd like it to just be, just variety. Just something different. It's almost predictable now. A lot of these highlights, when you're going to score or concede. Just that balance in play, balance in goals. We've got the balance in the engine with the formations. Let's have it across the board with the goals as well.
Yeah, I guess with the goals. I guess if there's one thing I was going to change, and I'm pretty sure someone mentioned it in the chat, Jimbo said stop throw-ins being a free first pass throw.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that. But I'd like to see more variety on the set pieces. We sort of see it with indirect free kicks now, although that winds me up. So I've got a lovely indirect free kick, and then he just passes it to the midfielder next to him, and then they try and slowly build it up. It's like, just stick it in the box. We've got a chance. But I'd like to see short corners, like player jumps in, get it, and like knocks it in, and there's a goal that way, or something like that, or not a goal.
100%.
Rather than just like, booting it into the net and stuff like that. So I'd like to see a little bit of variety on that side. But again, these are sort of like minor things. But
I think
Jimbo's saying he's seen 2 short free kicks in his whole life. I've seen a few this season where like it's indirect free kick. Think, oh, here we go, here's a chance, and he just passes it sideways. It's like, oh, come on, But
I think goals wise, if we could just combine every engine we've had so far, because there's been a little bit of everything. There really has. We've had direct free kicks, we've had long shot metas, we've had, every type of different goal per engine. Let's combine it. Let's get a mix of all those goals into one engine.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But I think like overall positivity.
Yeah.
I think generally most people seem to like this engine, and I think on the flip side of that, like it will make pre-season a lot easier next season, because you won't be like, oh my god, what's going to work this season? Have I got the players for it? And if I haven't, what the hell am I going to do? At least like this season, you can run different formations. As Rory said, he's running loads of different tactics, but also loads of different instructions, depths, compact, like all of those things. And, you can get lots of them to work, especially against different opposition.
100%. And again, what Rory said earlier about playing direct last season, I was the same. Not only did I play direct, I had exact lines and depths and compactness that I would use across every single tactic.
Well, same here. By the second half, you saw the tactics. You thought they were hilarious. But they stopped through balls. My line was set to 0. It was literally as far back. We were literally sitting on our goal line, playing fast balls through direct. Everyone was playing direct, risky passes, and we were getting so many through balls and goals and stuff like that way, but hardly conceding any through balls from the opposition. I wish I'd found it at the start of last season. I might have done even better. But yeah, it was. Yeah. That season, that was, one way to play. Like, this season, it feels like there's a lot of different variety. One thing I do like as well, giving the Yorkshire T and XP brethren a bit of a compliment, was their like tactics chat, where they talk about like they test different tactics every week. You do sort of, enjoy listening to that, because that's something that I, generally don't do. I'm sort of 4-3-3 till I die. Sort of, and I try very few other formations. Like Monkey Magic, I think I've played 3-5-2 when two of my fullbacks were suspended like yesterday, so I had to play the 3-5-2B, which I haven't played for seasons. I got absolutely spanked after I got one of my centre backs got sent off in the first minute. But, so that was pretty heartbreaking. Then I got smacked 7-1 or something like that. But yeah, that was a bit painful. But I like the fact that different things work this season. Let's talk about tactics anyway. I guess, like, how do we want to handle this? Like, Rory, do you want to fire off? You're the brains, for people that don't know. You're the brains behind Blade's formation and his teams and the 4-2-4. Let's give credit where it's due. You're the man behind the man. You're the man that makes it work. But so you probably don't want to like go into details, but I would love it if you did.
I'll give you a few bits anyway. Yeah. I just want to say, me and Blades, I kind of started talking to him very early on in my MFL journey, and he's just been such a great help to me. Like, we kind of chat every day now. We've become good friends over this game. I help him with tactic. He helps me with players, stuff like that. We have a good little partnership going on. And something I do love about his platinum team is I can get my hands in it and try my tactic at the top level before I put it on to my teams lower down. Because sometimes if you put it on lower down, it might just be like, I've got, this bronze 90 pace, 90 shooting striker he scored 26 goals this season. But that player up in platinum, if you can get them to score 20 goals, your tactics obviously doing it, not just the player. So I love being able to test out with his team. So this season, I'm playing on my main squad a 4-2-4 setup.
And that was the formation that you were playing, or a lot of Blades. I don't know whether all of them, but certainly the Sheffield team that he's got in my division is playing as well.
Yeah, he just has lots of players that fit in. He has all the wingers, the centre mids, that kind of stuff. It's the same as me. I don't really have like CDMs. I was talking to Kev earlier. I have no CDMs in my agency at any kind of level past stone. So it just kind of locks me out of those formations. I've just never packed one. None of them have ever progressed enough. So he's just kind of like me in that way, that we have the players set up for this formation. I like this season, as I was saying, I play a lot of different tactics. You know, like one of my bronzes is playing direct and the other's playing controlled, and they're both winning. You know, they're both playing different line depths and different widths as well. I have one team that's narrower than the other, and they both do very well. So that's the good thing about it. You can kind of find the little niches, the little stuff that makes your team click and work, and a lot of that's down to your player personnel. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's one thing that I've like not necessarily been slow to the ball on, but like trying to work out like I try and play this similar formation across all of my teams because I have CDMs in midfielders, wingers, forwards, you know, so I have the players for that formation, and trying to work out like in the past if I was behind I might go direct, but that doesn't seem to work quite as well this season. You know, maybe having direct on certain players. So like trying to close out games, sometimes I go to direct and drop my line back, you know, but then I found that I conceded goals. So I've sort of switched off doing that, you know, and it does feel like sort of balanced or controlled, you know, a lot better. And then maybe having direct on certain players if need be. But, you know, generally from that side, it does feel like it's completely different from last season.
Yeah, I had match plans set up at the start of the season for this kind of stuff, like, you know, go more direct when we're doing this, all these different scenarios. But I actually took them off the other day because I found that they're harming me more than helping me.
Yeah.
Rather than just trusting my tactic and letting it get to, you know, the finish line and seeing, because even yesterday I played a big game against third in the league in bronze. And I had match plans on where if I go 1-0 down, you know, I'd go all out attack, try win the game. And I'd end up losing by 3. So I took them off, and yesterday I went 1-0 down and just left the plan, left the tactic on, let it go, and I ended up winning 2-1. Whereas I think if I switched, like from past experience, I would have just lost by more.
Well, exactly. So yeah. I mean, I've got them on, and I'm, you know, getting quite tempted to sort of turn them off, you know, or at least some of them off, because, you know, the same thing happened to me. Like with the game where I was running a 3-5-2, my defender got sent off. I was 2-1 down at half time, so nothing happened. Like 60 minutes, it meant I go all out attack, and then I conceded 5 goals. It's like, you know, you wouldn't, if I had a player sent off, I wouldn't have gone all out attack. So having a little more detail in the match plans, and I'm pretty sure we've all mentioned it, or at least spoken about it with various people, that being able to change sort of instructions on players, you know, and having sort of more variety within the match plans will be very useful for sort of making changes and stuff like that. Because at the moment, I'm thinking exactly the same as you, Rory. It might be time to turn them off, or at least rein them in and run fewer of them. But
yeah,
Hoodwink.
That's my. I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, go on, Rory.
My plan for the off season. Usually, I do a lot of my testing off season, so plan is to try find some good match plans. So I thought I had some good ones, but they haven't been working out.
Yeah, no, exactly the same. Got Andrew Q in the chat saying it'd be nice to have a match plan option that takes red cards into account. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, they are quite rare. So, but when I'm running a 3-back and like one of your centre backs gets sent off, you know, no manager in the world is going to sort of suddenly go all out attack, are they? Because it's, you know, it's just going to lead to pain. But question for Rory from Sid. How many of the 84 combinations per formation have you tested? Like, have you tested everything?
I've tested a lot, to be fair. Like in the off seasons, I get my team sorted straight away, and I just test for those weeks. My girlfriend hates it. You know, I'm just constantly on this game, looking at numbers, looking at stats, looking at, you know, match reports and stuff. But I'd say I've tested a good few of them. Like, I don't really play around with the flank preference ever. Never touched that. Crossing and long shots I've been playing around with a bit more this season. Dribbling, I'm not a fan. My players just aren't really set up for the dribbling. In my agency, like, it's not really what I want them to do. You know, I want the guys passing the ball or running with the ball, or sorry, running onto a ball. So I never really do that. Attacking tendency is another one I haven't touched too much, but everything else I've gone. I'd say I've tried every single width, depth, compactness, press, aggressiveness, all that kind of stuff. I've used a lot of them. So
Yeah.
I'd say close. Not there, but close.
Tactics this season, like, you famously love, like, you know, a 1-0 win. You like not conceding, which is probably part of the pain in conceding one shots on target. But like, how have you found this engine from a tactics point of view, and anything that you want to sort of glean to us that you've learned?
All right, I think, because like the last few seasons I've went away, like I've always kind of wanted to play controlled, and I know this game isn't real life, so it's not like watching real football, but I love when you get a goal where you're like, your goalie decides to listen to you and passes it to your centre back, and you build up for the back and just you score a lovely goal. I love that, like, you know, I love like screen recording them and posting Discord and stuff like that. So controlled is working quite well for me for 3 of my teams. Maybe not quite with Edinburgh, but so I like that part of it where it's just nice fit, but it's nice to watch your games. Individual instructions I do quite a lot. That's probably what I need to check on, I think, because probably for Edinburgh, because a few when I've looked at them, I'm like, I don't know if that's maybe where I'm going wrong as well. One thing I do love is set pieces. Like, I'm like Arteta, because I score so many indirect free kicks, and corners I've noticed work better for me anyway with outswingers. So I have like a left-footed taking my right side and right-footed taking my left side, and the outswingers kind of my big centre backs go up for them quite a lot and cause a bit of chaos.
Do you find that it works either way? Because I've sort of tried flipping them around, like having I sometimes have a left on a left, so that it swings out a little bit to get away from the goalkeeper, and like, and then on the other side having them going in. I'm not quite sure which one's better, but I think like having the in swinger probably is a little bit better. But
I prefer an outswinger. Did I get it wrong? Left, whatever it is, I prefer an outswinger.
Yeah, left from the left would be an outswinger, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Left on left. Sorry. 2 seconds. Shit.
Your dog's disagreeing with you.
My postman's just posted something. I'll shut them up first, then I'll come back. 2 secs.
Big Mr. K, tactics.
Yes.
How's it going from you from a tactical point of view this season? And like, is there anything that you want to give away that you found works or doesn't work this season? I think some of the things like aggressive, you know, play, you know, I think that if there was a meta this season, it might be that aggression is the option. But what are your thoughts on like tactics in this engine?
I don't think there is a meta. Like, in terms of the seasons I've played, this is probably the one with the least amount of a meta way of playing out of all of them, which is good. I like it. I found that if I start off all my tactics, if I want to try it out, start everything unbalanced, probably no individual instructions. And I might be the one of few games that I'll watch on extended highlights and just watch a few patterns of play, how they defend, how they attack, how do they build up, and then bit by bit start tweaking things based on the players I've got for that team, what they're good at, what they're not good at. Especially if you've got like centre backs with not a lot of pace, anything over a 50% line depth, it's just kamikaze. You're asking for trouble. If you've got pace, you need to be trying to make most of it. And so if you're playing controlled, are you going to make most of it? Probably not. They're passing it short and they're looking to do quick 1-2s and stuff. If you've got players with high dribbling, dribble more. I've actually got my fullbacks on dribble more often because I tend to find with a lot of fullbacks, they have really outrageous stats across the board, but a lot of people don't utilize them because they're sort of just the next conduit to get the ball forward. So I've been trying to make use of them more and more and getting a good tune out of them, getting some good match ratings. Centre backs trying to keep it simple, and even though I've got them on, sort of a lot of them on like controlled, conservative passing, you still get them absolute Hail Mary from the back, direct through ball, and they get an assist, and you're like, where the hell's that come from? But it works. But yeah, I start everything on 50% and just slowly tweak. Don't take one-off results as, there you go, it's worked. Run it again. If I don't beat a team, I tend to do a little bit of a tweak and try again because I feel like I should be able to beat them, so I'll rematch them until I'm happy with it and test a bit further. But if you go to any of my clubs and look at the amount of friendlies I've run, it's obscene. I had a 4-2-3-1 at the start of the season I loved. I think I shared it with you, Kev, at one point. And then in the mid-season, I was like, it's not creating enough good chances for me, even though it's really solid defensively. Everyone's getting good match ratings. So I sort of tore it up and started again, and I feel now I've got a less complicated but better version because I'd overcomplicated it. So yeah, don't overcomplicate it. I've leaned into more individual instructions rather than just leaning on the team instructions this year, doing a lot more of that. But you've got to consider who you've got in your team and how good and what they're good at. I think that this engine really, really demonstrates that. If you've got a player that's got really good dribbling, make the most of it. If they've got brilliant passing, let them show it. If you tell them to all play short and play controlled, they're not going to create a killer through ball, and you don't create lots of good chances. I think everyone's.
That's not your dog, is it, Hoodwink? That's a weird bark.
That is. It's. I'm here at my girlfriend's, so I've got my dog fast asleep on the sofa, and my girlfriend's dog who has been vying for attention every 2 minutes, and now he's trying to get me to let him out because I'm ignoring him, so he's trying to get my attention.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I didn't think that was Hoodwink's dog, but yeah. But Kev, before we'll go around again in a minute because I want to sort of drill in. I think it might be useful, sort of newer players, like what different things do, like how they affect a game, and talk about like, you know, if you have your line set to like, you know, the max, what does that do? You know, and go through that in a second. But from a tactics point of view, Kev, what are your thoughts on sort of things that you found successful or things that you don't think work quite as well this engine? Because at the moment we're seeing that it really depends on the players, which is probably, again, the way it should be. But
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with what Mr. K said. I think a lot of it's down to the player strengths. I was having a chat with Rory this morning about that. How I've been having a lot of fun with high freedom. And, you know, players with high pace, high physical, get them high freedom, risky passing, whatever it may be. But that high freedom combination with whatever their strength is, i.e. dribbling, passing, whatever, it's a really fun way to play. Because if it's a CM, they'll act as like a box-to-box midfielder. You know, they'll help your defence, they'll create attacks, they'll get into the box for that sweaty goal. So yeah, just having fun with that. I also love that I can have different setups for different formations. So, you know, a 4-3-3 with controlled and maybe a 4-1-2-1-2 direct or whatever it may be. So yeah, just loving the experimentation of it all and just playing with it this season. A lot of different things work, which I love as well. But Rory's got some cool things we can dig into as well.
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
Just about the high freedom there as well. I was glad when Kev said that to me this morning because that is one thing that I thought wasn't balanced. It's the only thing I thought that wasn't that balanced in the engine. Like all my teams, I just played negative base freedom. Like, you know, I just found the high freedom not to work at all for me. And I thought that was one of the only things I found that I couldn't really get to work. Kev saying he has good success at that. So.
On my front three players, I have high freedom on them all the time. And you find that some of the patterns of play, like they move around, they interchange and stuff like that. And they, like, striker will drop deep to pick at the ball. And because he's got decent passing, then he fires it out to one of the wingers and they're throwing goal. You know, and I do love that sort of interchange, but it's the only area I wouldn't use it on all of the players, apart from centre backs, so they go for corners. But
well, just to jump in with a mini semi tinfoil hat theory. So what you guys said earlier about match plans, they worked amazingly well earlier in the season. Now they don't work so well. So same with high freedom. I didn't think it worked very well at the start, but now it works well. So yeah, something's definitely changed. But
maybe it's that lots of people have changed the way they're playing, and now because everyone's going opposite, it works that way. But I'm down for the tinfoil hat chat. You know that.
Yeah, maybe just the initial setup that you've got is better than the match plan that you change to as well. So it could be a variety of things.
Exactly. Before we move on, we've got Bob Flynn in the chat as well. You're right, mate. How's it going? I am railing you hard. Diamonds. Like, you've got to win it, man. No pressure. But yeah.
Up the Bob.
Yeah. called them out at the start of the season. Bob and Sid near the top, going for the title, and both are doing quite well this season again. But no surprise at all.
Sid's phenomenal to be sat fourth as well. Incredible from both of them. Yeah.
I love the moves Bob's been making as well. Every time I look, he's like got another massive name in for the season. I think his team's just going to be stronger and stronger, and Diamond could be funner and funner to watch going forward. But yeah, but let's talk about like some of the tactics then. So let's go through them line by line. So I'd love to get your guys' takes on what different thing you think or different things do. So let's start with in possession, attacking width. Has anyone got any strong thoughts on this season? I know listening to Yorkshire T-Boys, I can't remember who it was, someone was saying they like it down the middle, keep it sort of fairly central, and they don't really go for much width because, like, if you go for too much width, then it drags the players out of position and can leave spaces. But from my opinion, the flip side of that is the narrower you are, the less goals you can see, but the less goals you score as well. So having more width enables more space for you to score as well. So then it's about finding other ways to patch up the defence to make sure you don't concede. But has anyone got any strong thoughts on attacking width?
Yeah, I have. I have a few attacking width setups. Yeah, this season I have
taken this.
But my main one is I'll share with my 4-2-4 tactics. I actually play it on the narrower side of things, which is kind of counterintuitive for a 4-2-4. You're thinking, 4 attackers spread the pitch, find the gaps. The first thing I kind of noticed when I was testing this engine, I don't know if you guys seen it before, but sometimes the players just pass the ball off the pitch in possession. I don't know if you guys have seen that. And I was getting sick of it, So I was just like, you know what? If I get these guys away from that touch line, hopefully they won't just, pass it out. It's the opposition throw in, and then they're on an attack. And it ended up kind of being a double-edged sword, where that in turn then the narrower width made my 4 attackers kind of occupied the right spaces to do those cut across goals.
Sorry, Rory, just to cut you off a sec, mate, because Big Mr. K needs to shoot. So
I did. I just didn't want to throw you off your stride. That was all. Yeah, I need to go pick my daughter up from school. But thanks for having me on, chaps.
That's all right. Good to see you, mate. See you soon.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Sorry, mate. Carry on.
Yeah. So the narrow width, I found them to take up the perfect positioning across that front 4 to have the nice cut across goals the whole time. You got the 2 strikers in the box and the 2 wingers just coming outside the box. So you have the 2 options going either side, in, and I'm scoring a lot of those goals. It's kind of how I'm scoring majority of my goals this season. So I've been enjoying that side of things with the 4-2-4. But then with my other bronze team, 4-3-3, I play wider attack. And that is also working, which is good because I want these things to be able to be used. Like, you shouldn't just have to play wide or just have to play narrow. The wider attack works on my 4-3-3 because my wingers are insanely fast. But, like 88 pace, 91 pace, that kind of stuff. And I just find that they're able to use that width better than my 4-2-4 guys who are only about 85 pace, even lower. So it's just that extra little speed kind of makes a difference, I think.
What sort of width would you be on the 4-2-4, and what would you be on the 4-3-3 if you had to put, let's say, a percentage on it?
Like, they're not like full extremes. They're kind of like, I'll say on the 4-2-4, I'm kind of a quarter of the way up from the bottom.
Yeah.
And on the 4-3-3, I'm about 3/4 of the way up from the bottom.
Perfect.
But then again, on my other 4-3-3, I'm narrow because they're not fast wingers, and that is also working. So I think you can kind of work the depths. I just find faster players like the width, slower players like the narrow formation, and you can make both work, which is good,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
You have. Yeah.
What about in terms of sort of flank preference? It's something that if I was playing an opposition and I knew their best right back was suspended, and this is like really rare that it would happen, then I might sort of like, and their backup was like, it's an 80 rated team, but their backup was only 70 rated. Then I might put the flank preference on, but it's rare, what the opposition's going to be able to put out. So generally, I just leave it unbalanced. Is there anybody that has any firm beliefs that one way flank preference is the better?
I do. I go left quite a lot of the time because my left, if I've got my full strength team, I've got like.
Aren't you in a league with Rory? You're just telling him you go left.
I've played him already twice.
Played him twice.
Done our usual season. He pumps me, then we draw 0-0.
Same engine next season, chaps. Just saying.
I've got like 3 of my favourite guys. I've got Noriega at left back, who's got like 85 pace, and 77 passing, 89 defending as well. So you can do a bit of everything. Then I've got Norgren at left mid, who's got 96 pace, 82 shooting, 90 passing. And then if I'm playing 2 up top, I've got Chad and Ellie on the left, who again, it's got 90 pace, 84 shooting. And like, not every time, but like, if I'm playing the 4-1-2-1-2, I'll usually focus on that left-hand side if I've got the 3 playing. If I have to drop Norgren, it goes to like a 77 rated guy or something, or 76 rated actually. Aye. So I didn't focus on it then. But if I've got my 3 main guys, that's really where I want the ball to be on that side. And it's just like extreme pace as well. So, and it does work well. Norgren gets a lot of high ratings when I play like that. So I'm a big fan of it.
Okay, that's interesting because like, and there's another person, I think it was Cameron, says he uses flank preference massively. Kev, like Rory, something you ever use?
No, it's one of the only things I'll never change.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Just purely because I always build my team so balanced that I've got strength on both sides.
Yeah,
so,
same.
But I mean, I would use it if I could expose an opponent's weakness down one side.
Yeah, like if you knew they hadn't got a right back that game, in that position, maybe you'd do it. But it's pretty rare that those sort of things would happen. But
well, for example, I played a guy in the cup yesterday, and he actually knocked me out. But I wish I knew because he played like a massively lower rated left mid than what he did to the rest of his team. I had no idea I was going to do that. So if I'd probably dug into his team, checked his fitness, seen he needed to rotate or whatever, I probably could have figured that out. But definitely missed a trick there and it went against me. But if I focused on his side, I probably would have won the game.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, again, with this engine, it does reward sort of like when you're sort of like looking at the opposition, and if they play a certain way, then you can counter that way. And it does feel like there's counters tactically, like not just formation wise, which, can work. And again, that's probably a good thing. It rewards people that are prepared to sort of put in the effort to sort of do opposition research. I've probably done less opposition research apart from my top teams this season than I've ever done, for various reasons. But, the results haven't been quite as good in some teams. So now I'm paying sort of, a lot more attention to certain teams, especially when I get baited by, other shows to do well. So now, like, you have to sort of like, but it does reward you when you're doing that sort of research and stuff like that. In terms of control, balance, direct, I think, again, stylistically, it comes down to the players that you have within the team. Direct, obviously, as it says in the details, is more about sort of long balls and quick direct balls to players, and that can be good if you've got pace in the team. But I do think it's less effective this season. Balanced, obviously, is a mixture of both, and controlled is where they're like you want to hold a possession and you want to pass it around, and you do see sort of pretty patterns and stuff like that. Although I do find with balanced, even if you're going full attacking, it can be like less goals and stuff like that. Any thoughts on sort of any of those guys?
I've definitely leaned more towards balanced and controlled this season over direct, predominantly because of the goals it creates and the chances it creates. So if you go direct and get a through ball through, then your striker's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, which, as we know, isn't as effective this season. It favours the goalkeeper more. Whereas if you're controlled, balanced, you'll create more tiki-taka opportunities, more pass across goals. If you're playing for set pieces, you'll get more fouls for indirect free kicks. So I find those two styles are a little bit better for me this season, but it also depends on the formation and the players as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. Long shots, again, something I pretty much exclusively have unbalanced, and I think I've always had unbalanced, really. I may have tested take more long shots and stuff like that, but generally I'll put long shots on players I want on to take long shots and turn it off for players, but I do that within the player instructions. Does anybody do any different to that?
Not exact same.
No, I just kind of keep it balanced for everyone. I don't even like turn someone down or turn them up. If someone wants to hit one, let them hit one, on the balance thing. But I don't want them firing from every single position. But even your centre back could score one every once in a while. So if he wants to have a crack, why not? Let him have
I'm finding more success with balance for long shots for sure.
What about with crossing and dribbling? I know dribbling, some people favour it. Personally, for me, dribbling is something that I've always left unbalanced, even on wingers that have high dribbling, because I don't want them just getting the ball and just dribbling. I want them to be able to make the choice whether to make the pass or whether to dribble with the ball. Is there anybody got any sort of strong opinions on that? And crossing as well. Crossing, although more goals are coming from crossing, I've found that just keeping that unbalanced is probably more favourable than having trying to fire in endless crosses that get picked off by the keeper.
I love dribbling. Probably my favourite.
You always have.
I love it. When the amount of indirect free kicks that I score, I just want to win free kicks and get my high passers crossing into the box because I don't know, it feels quite OP. There's been quite a few match engines that have been like that, and I've kind of always favoured the high dribbling guys. And when I see how many fouls they get for it, how many free kicks they get for it, and how many indirect free kicks that I score, I scored 3 in one game yesterday, and I just think that's going to, hopefully they're going to try and take on players, and these players are hopefully going to foul them at some point in the game, and gets a huge opportunity to score compared to a load of other ways. So for me, I love high dribbling.
Yeah, we've got people in the chat. We've got Aaron Balaguer. Good day, lads. I'm assuming that is Aaron from Bolly Brothers, but who I've seen they're doing quite well. They've got teams in higher leagues this season. I know that I used to be able to loan some players to him, but now he's in the top leagues. He needs players that unfortunately I need in my squad. Got Sid saying dribbling is high risk, high reward, can lead to easy turnovers, but can also create those chances and stuff like that, which is again what I found, but which is why I generally keep it unbalanced. Got Badair. Is the Ramble an MFL, just MFL, or is it just for today? We're just here for MFL today, but we do other shows, although not recently, but hopefully we'll be doing them again soon. But
and Bad here is our competition in Stone.
Yeah.
Rory and I.
Yeah. Cartel,
yeah.
That's his team, yeah.
Which we can look into later on. But yeah, he's doing very well with the team he's got.
Who was that, sorry?
Bad Hair, who's just commented on the YouTube stream.
Okay.
So it's basically a 3-way race in our Stone League, me, Rory, and this fella. He won the league last season when I think me and Rory were in that one as well.
Yeah. And Ice, yeah.
And we both went up through the playoffs. So
and then this season, all 3 of us are back on top of Stone, racing for the title again. So
nice. I do love those little rivalries and stuff like that. I haven't got too many of them this season, but it's so fun when you've got people that you know in your division. Although generally, for whatever reason, I tend to do awfully against people I know. But but what about sort of dragging it back to tactics again? So attacking tendency. Last season, I was more defensive, all about defending the goal, defending those long balls, and sort of firing long balls up for my strikers to run onto and score. That worked really well. Again, this season, it feels like it's more balanced, as in it's more balanced as in different things can work. I play attacking on some of my teams, I play balance. Sometimes I play defensive, depending on the game, stuff like that. And all of those things can work. And that is the one thing that I did use match plans for. But again, the match plans, I don't know, for whatever reason, I find it difficult to sort of manipulate it. If you're behind, as I said earlier, sometimes you don't want to sort of, go up because you're playing against a better team. And, maybe should have changed the match plan for that. But what about sort of attacking tendencies? Is there any sort of strong feelings for anything working this season?
I use more offensive as a personal instruction on all my attackers, pretty much are more offensive. But other than that, I don't really touch it. I don't put it on the defenders ever, don't put it on midfielders ever. And I leave it balanced in the tactic screen. So I just kind of throw it on my attackers.
So you don't have your defenders on more defensive?
No, I don't. No. I leave the rest of them balanced. I just haven't turned it on. When I was testing, I found I turned on the more offensive on my attackers first, and I found that worked with the defenders and the midfielders on balance. So I stuck with it.
And you know what, Rory? That makes perfect sense. Remember, we spoke about freedom, and you said you don't use high freedom a lot. So I had a look at his heat maps, and I looked at all of his guys were on high freedom. What it'll be is they're all just attacking, even as defenders. So that's a really powerful way to attack. And you don't seem to concede many goals playing that way either.
No, I've only conceded 6 in the league, and 3 of them were in one game, which was a bad game for me. But I think it's just the setup. Like people think the 4-2-4 is this very easy to run through, only 2 in the midfield, but it's actually quite defensively solid. Like you can get your fullbacks to push up and help the midfield a bit, and it's crazy in attack. You just have so much firepower up there with 4 lads sitting there up front.
We're going to see everyone trying to play 4-2-4 next season.
Well, yeah, your fullbacks are like wing backs essentially, aren't they? And your midfields can drop back and forth. So
it seems to work out. Like I like because with the 2 in the midfield and then the 4 up front on more offensive, it does leave gaps there if you're trying to transition. So it's helpful to have the 2. Well, I found anyway, just to leave the fullbacks. They're not on bomb forward or anything. I just leave them balanced, let them do their thing. They'll get up there, they'll help, they'll connect from the centre mids up to the winger, who hopefully put that ball in and get the goal from it. And it seems to work this season. So just the way I'm approaching it.
But yeah, I'm the same as you. I'm more offensive on all my tactics. What I was doing though is I was using match plans to change it. So I was using that to either go balanced or more defensive, but it's just not working as effectively as it did. So I'll find if I'm 2-0 up, I'll maybe try and go more defensive through a match plan. It just goes against me. I'll concede a goal or 2. And it's mainly in friendlies that I'm testing that. But yeah, I didn't think they worked as well as they did earlier in the season. Maybe it's me.
Before we move on to out of possession, I just want to say that if you're watching, please like the stream. Please subscribe as well. We're trying to grow the channel. But we really appreciate all the support, all the people that join, all the people that sort of listen to the streams and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, we still get more podcast listens than we do on video. So I'd love to sort of balance that out over time. But I guess people need to find the channel. So, yeah, tell your friends, invite them along. But, yeah. Right, out of possession, team depth. Last season was the third. I used to be just 1 notch left of centre, like for the first few seasons playing the game, literally, and that was the only way I played it, and it was successful, all of that time. Last season was the first time I had to go to an extreme where I went extreme left with the depth, and that was because of the through balls. This season, it feels like, again, a lot of things can work. Like, I think, Rory, you said right at the start that you have teams that play at different depths, and sometimes, and depending on how those players play, and like as you said, like if you've got fast defenders, then playing a slightly higher line might be more effective because that could be, create more chances and stuff like that. But you've still got the defenders to cover. But if your defenders are slow, playing a slightly deeper line.
Yeah, it's actually my 4-2-3-1 setup, and I know Hoodwink was saying he's struggling to score sometimes in that formation. I think you're playing in our bronze league, but.
For the bigger teams, my other teams work well. It works well.
It works well. Okay. Yeah. I was just struggling to score as well with it. Just playing like I usually have my tactics set up. So I put that line up massively high. And it's just been working. My ice team, the only one that's running it in my whole agency is second. Doing very well on a nice win streak now since I changed it. Scoring more goals, all that kind of stuff. I think it's just kind of the whole defensive setup of it with the 2 DMs, the fullbacks, centre backs, that the high line it kind of isn't punished as much with those DMs covering that middle. As it would be, say, the 4-2-4 with the high line, you might just get wrecked. You might just be in big trouble there with the, because you have your left mid and right mid coming back on the 4-2-3-1. So it works for some formations, I found, but definitely not others. Like I tried the high line was one of my match plans on the 4-2-4, and it was just killing me.
Yeah, it's a bit suicidal, isn't it? As soon as it comes in speed, it's for fuck's sake, like.
Yeah.
What about
I thought
you,
I'd
Hub?
throw it on for like thought I'd throw it on just like, we'll go hell for leather, try win this thing, and then I'd end up scoring or conceding like an extra 2-3 goals where it just wasn't worth it,
What about you, Hoodwink? Like high line, low line, where do you sign? Where do you land?
Just similar to what you were saying, just left to the middle, nothing too extreme. I don't know. I find if I had to like really high lines, I don't think it's ever worked well for me. And it's pretty balanced for me. I don't really have a strong opinion on either, apart from it not working well. Whenever I've tried to kind of go to one extreme, and I'm not too like defensive or anything. Like I know I love a clean sheet, but I don't try and just like park the bus like your tactic last season.
You say I parked the bus, but the amount of I was scoring shitloads of goals as well. I think it was just that engine. It was just like, real world, it'd be horrible to watch. Like you got, most of your team sitting on the edge of your box, just booting it forward, and my quick players running onto it. But for whatever reason, it worked class engine. But yeah, in real world, that probably wouldn't work. Which brings us back to this engine. It does feel more realistic from that point of view. If you tried suicide or things like that, then they don't work quite as well. I thought they did start off with, but I had to change the tactics fairly quickly. Kev, what about you for line?
Yeah, depth is one of the things I'll probably change the most, to be honest. I tend to typically sit between the sort of quarter and halfway mark as a base sort of generic standard of tactic. But I will go anywhere between that 20% and maybe 80% mark. But it totally depends if I'm the stronger team or not. That's how I'll usually gauge depth. If I've got a dominant team, I'll go with a high line. If I'm a weaker team, I'll go with a low line. That's just my general school of thought with that. And it seems to be working pretty well this season using that as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Compactness, again, something that I haven't really changed too much. Like when I go more defensive, I tend to be slightly tighter, but because it goes like to fixed positions, doesn't it? I go one notch left for compactness on most of my teams most of the time, but then I'll go to the second one, slightly tighter block when I'm going more defensively. But the defensive play this season just doesn't tend to work. It's like maybe that's because I had direct on and the line dropped too deep and stuff like that, but like that's not been that successful. Anyone got any strong thoughts on how compact you should be this season?
I think me and Rory share a lot of the same ideas here. I'll let Rory go first.
Well, I think compactness is kind of one of them rock, paper, scissors thing where it's like most effective if you know the other person's playing wide and you counter that. But for most of them, I like to leave them towards the middle, if not a tiny bit narrower. And I just leave them mostly towards the middle, to be honest, on my top teams. And I just, it's just not something I change enough, I'd say. Like if I went in and I looked and I saw the guy I'm coming up against is playing wide, I'd probably put it on the wide one. I think I've done it once or twice this season. But usually I just leave them nice down the middle, compactness and a bit of a lower depth, and it works.
I remember at the start of the season I was experimenting with, because a lot of the goals this season are being scored from crosses, like those little like crosses into the box or cross the 6-yard box and stuff like that. I tried to expand the team out, thinking that maybe it would push the wingers out or the players on the side, but it just didn't really work and just left too much space in the middle for players to sort of get in the middle and score. Like it didn't stop the crosses, but obviously conceded more goals. So again, it's something that I don't sort of change too much. Hoodwink, what about you, mate?
Similar to the depth, actually, just a wee bit to the left, so a more sort of tighter block. But again, pretty balanced. Not really too much change with that one. I think I do that with both formations, the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-1-2-1-2 that I play. I think I play them pretty similar. Those ones that didn't really change much at all, actually.
The depth is a good one to change. Like just kind of depending on what your team setup is. Like I wouldn't be like you, Kev, changing it per opponent. I tried that twice actually this season with my bronze team. I tried to bring the depth up and play balanced instead of playing my usual a bit lower and a controlled setup. and that was my 3-1 loss before the mid-season break, and my 0-0 draw with Hoodwink with those 2 games. So I took that straight off, and I'm back to a little win streak on the original tactic.
But then I would say 4-2-4 and 4-3-3 attack are two of the ones I wouldn't really experiment with it massively. Like once you've got a good setup, I'd probably keep it there.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm thinking more like 4-2-2s, 4-3-3-Ds, stuff like that. Like playing with compactness has been really good fun for me this season. So I used to be kind of, I would say maybe a third on the line. So it's sort of in between, 25%, 30%. But now I'm kind of finding 50, 60, 70%, having a lot of fun with compactness. I think Cameron said it the other day. Cameron's in chat. He said he finds that it's cutting off a lot of the sweaty goals by expanding your compactness, because your fullbacks will kind of cover the wingers better. And I think he's got a good point with that, because, I'm finding a lot less sweaty goals when I expand the compactness, which, you wouldn't think so. You'd think it would be the opposite, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Where does the term sweaty goal come from?
Sorry, mate?
Where does the term sweaty goal come from?
FIFA.
Oh, is it?
So in FIFA, you would just basically run down the wing, pass it across, and tap it in.
Was that one of the metas in previous years then?
Yeah. It was basically, the easiest way to score in FIFA for many, many, many years. So everyone just labels it a sweaty goal. Sid's in chat, he knows that as well. But I was just saying there, David, when you dipped away, I'm having a lot of fun with compactness. I'm expanding it more than I ever have.
You go to the right of centre, do you?
Yeah, so I've always kind of been that sort of 25, 30% compactness guy. I've never really massively changed it. But this season, it's way more fun when you go sort of between 50 and 70%. I'm having a lot more fun doing that. I'm scoring more goals. I'm conceding less. And
I find it exactly the opposite, which is so weird. But
only when I combine it with a low depth is what I would say.
Okay, yeah.
So low depth, higher compactness. Whereas I used to basically run both in tandem most of the time. But no, I'm just having a lot more fun with that. Scoring more, conceding less, which you just wouldn't think would be the case.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say if folk experiment with that and just kind of see what you like. So Rory said he wasn't having much success with it, but that's probably because it's 4-2-4 and 4-3-3 attack. They're quite open formations in that sense.
Yeah, that's more on the depth rather than the compactness, though. The compactness is kind of.
Well, I was just going to say, whereas with the compactness, so there's a lot of double CDM formations that work really well this season. So it's great for that. Great for widening your CDMs and your fullbacks. So,
what about I remember hearing this chat on Yorkshire Tea. They were talking about trigger press, saying that basically, they go trigger press more often, and literally nothing else works quite as well. Does anybody deviate from trigger press more often?
Well, mine is a quick answer. No.
No,
it's always trigger.
I've always had it on trigger press. I mean, I originally put it on when I started the game because that was the way Liverpool always played under Klopp. It was
same heavy metal football,
stuff like that. But again, that's the way that most teams play these days now. It's not just Klopp. It's like everybody tries to play with the press, and then it becomes about beating the press and stuff like that. But I've never experimented with anything else. And whenever I've gone the other way or tried to be stand off, it just feels like it doesn't work quite as well, or I can see goals.
I was just going to say there's only two things I'll never tweak: flank preference and pressing. I'll always go more pressing and balance flanks. Everything else I'll tweak and play with, but that's the only things I'll keep.
Yeah. We've got Bader saying in the chat, 5-2-3 with direct heavy offence is my default, which is good to know for you guys that have to play him in that league.
Well,
goalie captain ? Well, I mean, that's feels quite divisive. For me, I never captain a goalkeeper. I just feel like you're leaving points on the table, and I think it's the wrong way to go. I'd rather get pace or passing or whatever, or more physical stats using captaining a defender. But I know Rory seems to be sort of quite in favour, and I know a lot of people are. So
Yeah, my one argument with it is, you get those extra one stat on every outfield player, but if you captain an outfield player, your goalie gets nothing. So that's why if I captain my goalie and all the outfield players get 2 defense rather than I captain an outfield player, they all get 2 defense, 1 physical, and goalie gets 0. That's why kind of why I got.
It's the only way to get everyone a boost, basically. So
I would rather have 10 players get a boost than 1 player.
No,
like the goalie gives 2 defending as well.
Yeah, but which makes me think that the goalkeepers do have hidden stats, because if you had a goalkeeper get 1 defending, then 2 defending, then what difference would it make if they hadn't got that as a stat? So
yeah.
But that's the main. I would always rather boost 10 players than 1 player.
I'm going to try it tonight and see how it goes.
Yeah.
4 goalie captaincies coming up.
I'm
I just played a friendly.
I'm with you boys. I very rarely captain my goalkeeper. I prefer to have more fun captaining strikers or cams or whatever. But
yeah,
I will do it.
It was definitely about like pace and forwards for like strikers and stuff like that. But
I will do it if I'm, up against a monster team in silver. I'll captain my goalkeeper because that gives Big Helmet a nice +2 as well. He goes up to an 88. So yeah, we love Big Helmet here.
Kev's big helmet, but yeah, just pulling it up. More aggressive, like this engine. If there was a meta, in my opinion, and I don't think there necessarily is, I think more aggressive, tends to be a better default option on a lot of things this season. But I think Rory, was it you that said earlier that you don't always use it on all of your teams, and you find that sort of like less other aggression?
The aggressiveness, actually, I have up on more aggressive for most of them. I found it, you don't get the cards that you'd think you would with the more aggressive. Like, you're not getting sent off every game. You're not getting crazy yellow cards. So why would you not have it on is what I'm thinking,
Do you keep it on for your defenders as well, then? Do you have it as a default setting across the team?
Yeah. Everyone's on more aggressive. Everyone's on press.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anybody disagree with that?
I think Hoodwink needs to go, do you, mate? Do you need to go and get the boy?
Yeah, go pick up the wee man, eh?
Aye.
Have fun chatting.
All right,
Good to see you.
Did you guys say you go aggressive there?
Yeah. Rory does. I do at times. I'll let you go.
I do on some formations, I think. I think a couple of my preset ones I do, but I don't think I do as standard because it goes press, balanced, and then play with defence.
No, I think more aggressive this engine is probably a better way, but... All right.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, mate. Good seeing you.
Yeah,
see you soon.
Ciao, guys. Bye.
Gonna need to do a bit of a.
So, yeah, I'm with you guys. I like more aggressive this season. I've always been a balanced guy for aggression, but this season more aggressive is incredible. It's a lot better. It goes well. We press more often, so I just win the ball back better, I think.
Yeah, and there's not much downside to the more aggressive, I don't think. Like, compared to balance, I don't see any difference in, like, the fouls or the cards. I just
totally
seem to win the ball back more.
Yeah, well, I was balanced quite a lot at the start of the season. I was getting loads of yellow cards. So I thought, well, I might as well just go more aggressive because there's probably no difference. Well,
yeah,
for yellow cards. So
it's just pulling it up. So this is one of the tactic, or the default tactic, that I've been using quite a bit. So you guys, to see what I can see, you'll probably have to open the YouTube channel.
I'll have a look just now. I'll be back in a sec as well, boys.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, it's got the. What about with the last one then? So clearances. So historically, I've gone quite balanced with this. This season, I've probably gone more to play out of defence rather than sort of like trying to lose, because trying to keep possession. Rory, are you more about keeping possession, like from the back?
Yeah,
100%. More about sort of hoofing it forward.
No, 100% play out of defence. I've used that for a while. I just don't find, like, the clearances lead to so many counter chances. I don't know if you've noticed that before, but like, they boot the ball away from the defense. It gets picked up by the opposing midfielder, and they're just straight back in, pressure on top of you, and it often results in a goal. So I prefer them to just pass it out the back, keep possession, and don't let those chances come in and happen.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah. And, that is something that I have tested in the past, and certain tactician persuaded me to go for balanced. But I think definitely this engine playing out from the back is the way to go. But
Yeah.
but again, it can depend on your players. If literally all your defenders are absolutely awful at passing, maybe you don't want them trying to play it around at the back and play out from the back. So from that point of view, I think that I'm quite lucky that a lot of the defenders on my teams, especially on my better teams, do have sort of at least semi-decent passing, and so I'm quite comfortable with them sort of playing it out from the back a little bit.
I also think your kind of team depth matters a bit, because if you're playing at the back with a lower setup, it's obviously easier for them. Like even the bad passes don't have to pass it so far. Whereas if you're pushed up the pitch, I always find like that first pass or the second pass, if you're trying to play it, might get a bit ropey. That's where you might get caught playing out of defense. So I think it does depend on how deep you're set up, and again, what your player stats are like. I think stats trump all pretty much.
Yeah, no, I
in this
completely
game
agree.
in terms of how to set it up. But like I could see like why people might use balance. I think clear the ball often is a waste of time, and however you use it. But play out defense has just been something I've been using for a few seasons, and it's never not worked. So
just bring up, we'll go through sort of how our teams are doing this season. What's your username again? Rory.
Yeah, just Rory. Yeah, that's it.
There you go, Rory. I'll give you a quick follow.
Yeah, here we go.
And
yeah, I actually just bought my first Lego player last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, front and center of the agency. So
nice.
Preparing for silver now, hopefully, with how these teams are getting on. I have a lot of teams, so.
Oh yeah, let's not go through all of them.
Yeah, 13 of them, all Irish teams as well, which I like to keep the agency a little team,
Do you keep an eye on the market then? If you see an Irish one come up, you sort of fire in an offer and buy it.
Yeah, I try to. I was trying to buy an iron. Like usually I go onto the leaderboards and I check who owns these things, and I'll try and message them and see if they're willing to sell. I was trying to buy an iron one. There's only, I think, 3 iron clubs from Ireland at the minute, and your man wasn't willing to sell, so I'm just going to have to try promote my stone up, because I have a big gap there. Like I have 2 bronze, no iron, and then stone, ice, and down to spark. So I'd like an iron club to kind of fill in that progression bracket.
So let's we'll try and focus in on teams that are above or above spark. Rather than sort of talking about all the other teams. But quickly, talk about your strategy with the game. You've got all of these licenses. Is there a method to the madness in terms of are you trying to sort of fill those teams with progression players and find those sort of progression beasts, or is it about trying to get those licenses promoted?
It's more a progression chain. I think I did a lot of moving around just there from my stone team, because I had this one guy in my agency who went +7. So he's up to an 81 now, and I would love to have moved him from my stone team to my own iron team. That's kind of the my thinking behind it is keep them in an agency, and you can look after progression yourself.
Well, you've got nearly as many players as me now.
Yeah, I have, I think 346. So that's why I have so many licenses. I like to be able to move my players that progress well through my own teams and keep them progressing. So I had to loan my cam out to a different iron squad, but he seems to be getting on well there. It looks like a good manager. I think he's in the Discord and everything as well. So more than happy to give people those kind of loans if they're willing to play them.
Godlewski.
That's him. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, love that.
He's doing very good. +7 this season. +7 last season.
Yeah.
Packed him as well. So he's a real star boy in my agency. One of the players I really like, and I hope to have him in my iron squad next season.
Yeah.
Or my bronze.
And he's not one of those 24 flatliners as well. I've had players that have progressed hard and then suddenly they hit 24 and it's just beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
Across the board. But yeah, no, it's nice seeing them. But how's progression been for you this season? I can see you've got a few players on +4 and
Yeah, not too bad.
usable players as well.
A lot of my good progresses were on in tier jail. This season, they all like last season I had a much better progression. Like it's still quite good. I mean, like I can't complain. Lots of +1s, lots of +2s, 3s all the way up. Having a +7 is always nice, you know. Waking up every day and seeing a plus stat in that guy.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look at my progression now. Like I've had a few guys tick over, and like some of the guys sort of lower down have been getting sort of decent progression. But this season it's been sort of, you know, not quite as sort of pronounced as previous seasons. And like a lot of the players, like some of the rares are getting +2s, +3s this season. But you know, some like I've got quite a few guys in the development center. One guy's gone +6 this season already. But yeah, I would love the legendaries, like those guys to progress more. And some of them have. They've gone +1 this season, stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem I have as well. None of my top guys progress as much. Well, not nearly as much as I'd like them to anyway. My bronze team has 3 +1 overalls this season. So like I would say I'm probably one of the worst in the division for that. Like other teams are overtaking me every day in terms of quality, just because these players aren't getting the stats to go up.
Let's start with Salt Hill Mariners then. How are they doing this season?
Good. Second place in ice. That's my team that's playing the 4-2-3-1 setup I was talking about earlier. Again, it's kind of a few nice out of position. I capped my striker on this team because I play a high line. No point capping the keeper with the high line. I don't think he's going to concede anyway with those chances coming through. But there are a few nice out of position players here. I like this 4-2-3-1 setup. They're through in the cup as well.
Yeah, that's one of my rotation pieces. How have you been getting on the cup this season?
So I have 13 teams, and I think I got 5 into the. What round are we in now? Are we in the semi-finals now?
Yeah, semi-finals is the next one. Yeah.
So I had 5 in the quarters, which I was quite disappointed with. But then all 5 of them got into the semis, so we're back on track a bit. Hope to get 1 or 2 wins. My flagship main team is still in it. Hope to get them. Maybe a league and cup double would be nice, you know.
Nice.
But cup's going well, I think.
Yeah, no, I got sort of 6 of my 7 teams got through the groups in the cup, and all 6 got through to the quarterfinals. Unfortunately, 3 dropped last night. But the good news is, like, my 2 best teams that are left in, my 2 top teams are both through to the semi-finals, which I'm pretty happy about. But yeah.
Yeah.
So what about like Ardmore Urchins?
So that's my Stone League with Kev and Bad Hair. And if you have a look there, you can see I'm first by goal difference, just about
6 goals.
6 goals.
You've scored 6 more than me. That's the only difference. We've got the same conceded, same points, same win-loss draw. It's
I think you beat me though. I think you beat me in the
But we play again third last game of the season or something, so that could be huge.
Second last, yeah. My last 2 games are on the 10th. Second last game is you, Kev, and then the next one is Cartel, who are third. So that's going to be a very fun finish to the league.
Mr. Bad Hair, yeah.
Bad Hair, and that's going to be a fun end to the season, isn't it?
Definitely looking forward to that one. Last season in ice, it was the same top 3, me, Kev, and Bad Hair, except I was third, Kev was second, and Bad Hair won it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can switch that up this season.
Nice. He's got some decent teams, and he's saying that his mate is only legendary is retiring this season. It's painful, isn't it, when that comes in? Like, you know, you dread it coming up. Oh, 94 rated Xiangbin Pu. Sorry, not Pu. Look at that. And he said he'd made like nearly 200,000 MFL loading him out. Yeah, when you got 94 rated player, I guess that the demand would be high for it. Yeah.
100%.
Nice. One day I'll have a guy that's in the 90s. But yeah, it's painful when they're retiring. But hopefully one of your 84 rated players cracks on, gets out of tier jail this season and cracks on and becomes your new 90 rated player next season. What about, we've done that one, Phoenix Park Rangers. They're the team I hear about quite a bit. But
they're my main team, yeah. Doing a 7-point gap at the top of the league now. It's my league to lose, I think, at this point.
Incredible performance, because you were projected, what, 9th, 10th?
Sixth for this one.
6th.
My other team, my Guinness team, was 9th, I think.
All right.
Yeah. So I've only conceded 6 goals with this team. 3 were in one game because of that match plan, the dodgy match plan I had on. So they're performing very well, exceeded expectations. I had a good stint in the league last year. I was leading it coming into the midway. And then I think I went on and won 2 games after mid-season, and a 5-game losing streak fell apart. So I'm hoping I can just hold on to it from here, and that kind of thing doesn't happen to me again.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And you
they're
say
also
they're your top
cup
team.
semi-finals. Sorry.
Oh, they're through
Correct.
to the semi-finals as well. Yeah, got you
Yeah,
smashed
yeah,
the cup with all of these sides. And Guinness MFC, that's not your top team, but they're in bronze and they're top as well. You're going to have a tough time next season building your team.
Yeah, that's the thing. I got these guys promoted from. These are one of the first teams I actually bought. It's the first Irish license I bought, and I got them in Stone. And I promoted them from Stone, promoted them from Iron last season. Now they're top of bronze, which I fully was not expecting. I thought I'd be fighting for survival in here as a 9th predicted, but it's all down to this one player I have who has scored 27 goals in the league.
I mean, you've got for a bronze team, you've got fairly weak overalls in there. So, that probably sings praises for the work that you do in terms of tactics, getting it to work.
Yeah, the overalls are low, but if you look at, say, my main striker, Zubak is his name. He's an 82 rated striker. He's got 93 pace, 94 shooting.
Oh yeah, I mean that's legendary type stats, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not really an 82 rated card in game, you know what I mean? And then my Cam has 95 passing, so the link up between those two is just working, and that's what's doing it for me in the league this season. I think I have a Cam on loan from Work the Space with 95 passing. He's just providing those assists into the striker who's 27 league goals.
Wow.
In 15. So
with all of these teams, is it a pain? Was it a pain this season trying to build the squads for them?
Not so much. I kind of there's this guy called Leon 17, and he loans me a lot of players every season. He has a pretty big agency, and I get a good few players from him. I also got onto Fragioko. I don't know how you say that name, but he did a big deal for me, giving me 5 or 6, 7 guys. I have a few in my own agency, and then the little pieces I just try find off the loan market. But most teams I'm giving up about 50%, which isn't ideal, but it's what has to be done to be competitive. I thought, to stay up, but luckily enough, we're actually gone and smashing it. So
yeah,
it'll end up being well worth it. So
nice. Let's move on to Kev then. So Kev, how is the season going for you? We're just focusing on teams that are ice and above.
Well, yeah, so Spark teams top of the league and out of the cup, so that's a nice easy one anyway. Ice is the same. Just went out of the cup yesterday. In top of the league.
Which was the one where we could have met in the cup?
I think it was the ice one. I think it was the Aberdeen D-Gens.
We both went out, didn't we? So.
Yeah, both went out. So I lost. I think it was. I lost on pens after having 29 shots. So I think I shared that one with Rory, the match stats of that one. That was a heartbreaker because I dominated that game. She never even got to pens, but yeah, there you go. So yeah, flying at the top of the league, but I was projected first anyway. I've got a strong side in ice. I just threw all my leftovers, all my rare leftovers in the ice team. So doing well there. Obviously, because it's Aberdeen, I want to get them promoted anyway. And then Casco in with Rory. That's a really, really competitive league. That's so much fun. That's the only team I've got left in the cup as well. So that might go well to Bad Hair and Rory's advantage if I stay in the cup. Because I want to do well. I want to try and win a cup, and it's the only team I've got left in the cup.
You've got a pretty balanced squad. So when you rotate, the depth it's not suffering too much.
No, it's a strong, very strong Stone squad. So yeah. Should be getting promoted. There isn't much excuse there. I've got a stronger team than Rory, so it just shows you how well Rory's doing. He's doing brilliantly. So yeah, really chuffed with those. It's when, and then obviously onto the Ramble as well. They're flying as well. Unfortunately, out of the cup, which I'm really, really gutted about. I wanted to have another cup run because we had 2 cup finals back to back, but 1-1. I was hoping to try and get 3 in a row, but yeah, just a shame we couldn't make it. But I think we're 6 points clear, top of the league. So yeah, Graz dropped points yesterday again, so that was lovely. So we need to have a chat about that, David, because we might have the Ramble up in bronze. That's a bit of a problem. Because we couldn't get community players this season to fill it. I had to use all my own players.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, isn't it? But
yeah, so I don't know what to do there. Well, I'm actually thinking about selling my bronze team to fill the Ramble next season. But yeah, it's definitely something we need to have a chat about because it's looking very much like we'll get promoted and win the league. But I do have a very tough run of fixtures, so it's not over yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're playing 3rd tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then you've got an easy game.
So Mini-Me, who's I think 4th at the moment, and I'm top. So we both play 2nd and 3rd in the next game. So that's huge for both of us because I want him to get in the playoffs as well. So that'll be big.
And you play Mini-Me last game of the season.
Yeah, but there's a lovely gap between Graz and 3rd. So the Ramble should be top 2, essentially. But yeah, it's a really tough run for the end of the season. So the first 4 teams are flying. They're all either top or 2nd, and one's still in the cup. But it's when you go to bronze, it starts taking a bit of a decline.
Yeah.
So the kind of D-Gens aren't doing very well, if you want to have a look at them. But they were projected.
Mid-table's okay, though, isn't it? I mean, it's not...
Yeah, they were projected 7th. And, there's so many much more stronger teams in that league. Plus, I don't have wingers in that team. So I like rotating into wingers in this current engine, which I can do for the Ramble, for example. And they're top of the league. So I'm kind of restricting myself with the formations that I can play with this team. And it looks a strong bronze team when you have a look at it. But it's not. It is the 7th strongest team. So it just shows you how strong that league is.
Yeah, there's a lot of bronze. It depends on the division, obviously, but there's a lot of bronze leagues now where they've got teams with loads of legendaries in there now.
Yeah. Well, there's some big managers in that league. There's Big Wilbert and everyone in that league. So, there's loads of Legos and stuff that are just way, way stronger than me. So I'd be happy with mid-table because I'm thinking about selling them anyway. So if I can keep them in bronze, I'll be chuffed with that. But most disappointingly is the D-Gens. So we were projected 9th, and I think we're sat 9th or there or thereabouts with a massive win yesterday against Scrubs Buenos Aires. So I'm now just 1 point behind them. So that's going to be a really tough struggle for survival, that one. But it was good to have Mr. K on because I wanted to give him a shout out as well because he knocked me out of the cup yesterday, which I was absolutely devastated about. But fair play to him because he told me that he specifically set up his formation to counter my pace up front and things like that. So, yeah, fair play to him. He beat me 1-0. I had a glorious one-on-one chance with Malteni in the 73rd minute at 0-0. Missed that. Raging. Devastated. And then he scored one of the sweaty goals that we're on about, the little tap across goal. So, fair play. But he set up really well. He deserved to win the game. So I hope he goes on to win the cup now. Fair play to him.
You can concentrate on the league now anyway, so which is always good.
Yeah. Which I said to him after the game. I was like, fair play to you, well done. But I have to worry about survival anyway, so it's maybe not a bad thing that I'm out. So, mixed season. The top 2 teams aren't doing very well. The bottom 4 teams are absolutely flying. So it's a funny one. But I was never strong enough in those top 2 divisions. Like projected 9th and 7th kind of says it all. So yeah, if I can get survival in those 2, I'll be delighted, and it'll have been a good season.
All right. Nice. Well, I'll go through my teams now then. Monkey Matadors, team that I wanted to get relegated, are currently in 6th. Every time I run the backups, I ran the backups yesterday against a better team. And by the backups, I mean like limited players, like mostly limited players with a few sort of uncommons in there. I keep getting wins. So getting relegated isn't necessarily going to plan. I'm hoping I still drop points because I'd really like to get them down into Spark. But, maybe if the team does survive, that's sort of, an omen. They did well in the Cup, got through in the Cup, and they were one of the teams that got through yesterday in the Cup. So we are now into the semi-finals there. There's really not much MFL online here, so it's just a bit of fun getting them through. But yeah, the ideal at the start of the season was that I'd like to win the Cup with this team and get relegated. At the moment, the relegation part might be the problem, but you never know. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's fun. The Vikings, a team that were built for the Cup, are doing well in the league. Like currently top of the league, 3-point gap. I think we play. Tomorrow we play the team in second. Annoyingly, went out of the Cup yesterday. They took the Vito Coppola, and the guys just didn't click up front. It was really, really frustrating match. And so going through in there and then went out yesterday, which was painful. It was 2-1. I think, did I score first or did they score? I can't remember with this game. Got lose track. Yeah, I scored first and dominated the game early on, like 17 shots. And then for whatever reason, they came back in and they made a tactical change. Yeah, they had lots of tactical changes that came in. And whatever their tactical change was, it definitely worked. And they dominated after that. But it was quite frustrating. But anyway, moving on to next season, hopefully they can get promoted as well. The Kings have been they had a shocking start to the season. We were just losing everything. I don't know, it was just absolutely grim. Could not do well at all at the start of the season. And we've turned it around now with tactics. And they were doing okay in the Cup, and they went out yesterday. I think that was a little bit more convincing that we were playing a far better team. So that wasn't the end of the world. But yeah, so we've got a game in hand on some of the teams above me. So 25 points. Yeah, so we're sort of back in the mix now. But this is the fun league with Patron Saints, which is a led community team who I actually have a player on loan to as well. And the Carmarthen crew, who I've played about 3 or 4 times now, and they've beaten me every single time. Josh knows how to counter my tactics. So I've got another game coming up against them in a few days. So praying that I can actually beat them this time because, it's just not been good. But moving on to the Thunder, they're the team that would sort of the leftovers, my worst iron team, and they haven't been doing too well. They're the only team that didn't go through in the Cup. Absolutely grim, and the team is severely underpowered for the division. But again, I would like to keep them in there. I was hoping for sort of a mid-table finish with those guys. A team that wasn't a priority team, but has since become a priority team, primarily based on Black Mamba being in the division and baiting me on the show. That is Bruce, of course. And at the start of the season, I was here, Bruce was here. 5 games later, I was here, he was there, and he baited me. I heard it on the show, and I answered the call. I started paying more attention to the team and the tactics, and now I'm top, and he's got a 3-point gap. He lost yesterday, so that's going to be fun. And then, is it Bold Sherlock? Yeah, Bold Sherlock is in third, and he DM'd me as well, just before he beat me in a match the other day. So, it's going to be a fun league, but I'm laser focused. Out of the Cup now with this one as well, so laser focused on that one. Funky Monkey, they're my perennial bronze to iron team, but the team is a lot stronger this season after we brought in some players. Again, I had a pretty poor start to the season, but once I started to change the tactics, things turned around. I had some big wins. I had a 9-0 win in the league against mid-table team, or they were 4th, I think, at the time. So that was a nice win, 5-0 win, 3-0 win. So lots of decent wins. Yesterday, played top of the league, and I lost. Fortunately, they did go through in the Cup. So Funky Monkey have always sort of under-delivered in the Cup. And this is the one that has one of the Bally brothers, Jan, in there. Who else was in there? Was this the one? Was one of your teams in there as well?
I was in there with you, that Cup.
Which one were you in? Which team were you?
Was it the Canadians maybe?
No, I'm not sure. Every time I look at the Aberdeen Devils, I think it's you for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's another Aberdeen team, but no.
But yeah, they went through in the Cup. Nice win yesterday. Did really well. like completely solid at the back and got through with a 1-0 win. Now we are into the semi-finals, but the MFL on like for reaching the semi-finals 26, but then I get another boost to 38 if we get to the final. So obviously I'd love to get to the final with that team.
No, I wasn't in that cup with you.
Yeah, no, I think it's the one that I always think you're in the cup because I look at it and think, oh, Aberdeen, that's Kev. Yeah. Monkey Magic is just.
Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, Monkey Magic has just been a disaster show. Like, I was experimenting with tactics early in the season, tried running last season's tactics, didn't work. Like, started the season poorly. And then I had to rotate to get through in the cup, which I did end up going through in the cup, top of the group. They are also through in the cup to the semi-finals after a nice win yesterday versus one of Palmer's top teams, which is the Black Country Ballers. So they're a decent squad, probably a little bit better than mine, but I managed to beat them 2-0. So we are through to the semi-final there, and they're a team that last season made the final and lost in the final. So I'd love to get to the final and win it this time with those guys. But yeah, it's just been a disaster show. I think one of these matches, in the cup game here, I had one of my players, I won it 3-0, but one of the players got sent off, my right back, I believe. And then the left back got a yellow card, which took into 5, meaning that I had to go to like a formation I hadn't played for seasons, 3-5-2-B, and got a red card on one of my defenders in the first minute. And then like the tactical instructions kept on pushing me further forward, and it just got worse and worse. But yeah, that was just utter carnage. But so forget about it.
I've just set up a gorgeous 3-5-2-B. I'll need to send it over to you. I'll send it to Jimbo as well.
Yeah, I need to sort of experiment with some of those.
I noticed there as well, Blades is in that league in second place, so it's nice to see the tactics working up from silver.
He has, yeah. It's taken me so long to work out what works, and when I'm able to play the formation that works, it works. But I think this, like every time I have to rotate to a different formation, this one, like I couldn't get this to work. I think I was using team instructions from my normal formation on this, and it's like you need to be like a little bit more, more intelligent, sort of doing that. And obviously, this was just a car crash after the red card. But a big win yesterday, and then beat a team that's down in the relegation battle with me. So they were a team I needed to beat, and I did beat them. But yeah, I need to do some serious. It's about where I was last season, actually. So I do need to sort of string some wins together, playing a team just above me tonight. But then I have the cup tomorrow, and then I have Sheffield United, and then I have another team that's just below me that I need to beat. So every game just feels important now. So yeah. I think
that's tough, isn't it?
I'm not sure what to do yet tonight in terms of, sort of rotation, but I'd love to get through in the cup, but I definitely do not want to get relegated. So yeah,
at least you're 5 points clear at 10th. That's nice. That's a boost.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get relegated. I think I can sort of string together wins. The two top teams is bottom feeders, which I think is Ronan's worst team. But this season they are pretty stacked and pretty decent with the division.
But one win gets you up to 6th, so it's quite tight.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, the season's not dead yet. Sheffield, which obviously is Blades. Tactics by Rory.
Well, he says, Rory, you're using his tactics in the chat.
yeah. He's right about that.
And then Ybor City, which is Big Wilbur. It is a decent team as well. So, Ybor City and bottom feeders really should be top 2. So yeah, like Blades is doing well with Sheffield, with his Sheffield United team, and doing better than Sheffield United in real life. But although they did get a win this week, didn't they? But nice.
Jimbo and Blades are chatting about that just now in chat.
How did Norwich do?
I think that's a sore point, I believe.
Really? I thought Norwich, they might beat Sheffield next season in League One. But we'll see.
I know the championship play tonight, Jimbo says.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nice. Right. That's everything from me. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we get out of here? I've just realised we've gone over 2 hours, which...
No, it was cool. It was really good to have Rory on and just pick his brains, and he's having loads of success. So there's a lot of good takeaways for people there,
I really enjoyed it as well, because one of the things when...
No, very, very enjoyable, yeah.
When you come on to MFL, like you play around with tactics and stuff like that, but you don't necessarily know exactly what they do and whether like moving the lineup or moving it back, or I think it helps to sort of go through them. But yeah, no, it was great having Rory, Big Mr. K, and obviously Kev, the master tactician, and Hoodwink as well. But yeah, really, really enjoyed that show. Doesn't feel like we've been talking for 2 hours, actually.
No, it's crazy, isn't it? Good chat for another couple of hours quite easily. But...
I know it's a long one, though, where I have to go out and refill my drink.
That was very enjoyable, lads. Yeah,
thanks for coming on, Rory.
Absolutely, anytime. Yeah, love chatting with you about the tactics and everything. Like, it's nice to discuss it, not over a message, and actually be able to articulate it a bit better. But yeah, it was a great show. Really enjoy watching it every week. So glad to make an appearance.
Yeah, no, and we'll definitely get you back on in the future as well for more tactics chat and find out how you're doing maybe next season and how you're doing getting all of those players you need in for silver. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah, but big games all round. I think from for most teams, it's going to be big games now for the rest of the season, whether you're going for a title, surviving relegation, trying to make the playoffs, or trying to manage your squad when you're through in the cup. It's going to be a fun end to the season. Blade says, still need that rare pack, Rory.
Oh, yeah. This is a running joke, Blades and Jimbo have, that I owe the stream a rare pack. I don't know where it came from. It's coming one day, though. Maybe. We'll see.
I think I remember seeing it in one of Jimbo's streams in this evening. But, yeah, it was really good to hear from you and Big Mr. K and... I'm just really enjoying sort of MFL content at the moment, like whether that be Jimbo's When Dirk was really good this week. Like I loved hearing about sort of how Root got into sort of the streaming when Big Mr. K was tweeting out Root. I won't ruin the story. Go listen to When Dirk if you haven't listened to it yet. But yeah, really fun episode this week listening to Root. Yeah. And obviously those Sheffield boys, also the Northern boys in Yorkshire TNXP, which was great this week as well. Really enjoyable. But yeah, so loving the content that's out there at the moment. Obviously, there's other people as well, or English speaking more. There's Amrezy as well, who had Hoodwink on this week. There's just lots of decent content out there at the moment. And long may it continue. I know that we're looking at sort of doing some fun things for Christmas, like joint together for all of us, but I won't mention anything more on that now, mainly because I don't know anything more on that now. But so lots of fun things coming up. And that's everything from this week. So thank you very much, Rory, for joining us. Good to see you again, Kev. I guess next time I see you, Kev, we will be doing an evening stream when you're back in Scotland. We'll try and get one of the American guys on and perhaps do an evening stream.
Yeah, that'll be good fun. And thanks to Yaks for embedding us on the website and for your nice comments there.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Yaks. Still trying to get it out. As I said, we still get more audio listeners than we do to the YouTube. But it's always good fun. Maybe there's loads of old players like me that like going for a walk and sticking a podcast on. But anyway, we shall be back next week. Great to see you all. Thank you to all of the chat. Like and subscribe, and we'll be back again soon. Bye.